Sorry. Trying to prop you guys up. Okay, so I know I'm already an hour late. Oh no, I got this thing stuck. There we go. Okay. I know I'm an hour late. I know. Doing this face takes a while. Sorry. It is a little dark out here. Oh gosh, man, I can never do this right. How does everybody else do it? Well, they probably have like really nice tripods and everything, and I don't, because I live a broke life. There we go. That's better. Okay. Boo! Yeah! Dorobar. Oh god. Hi, Josh. Hi. Okay, so obviously it's close to Halloween. Wanted to get on here, talk about some ghosts. Haven't been able to still do any hi. Still haven't been able to do any actual like recordings, so that way I could like edit and make a nice video for you all, but well, thank you, but you're at work. You're not supposed to be watching the live stream. Stagecoach Inn. Are you out traveling somewhere? Anyway. So far it's my boyfriend and my brother that's on here, so this is gonna be fun. And there's birds that are fighting. Oh, Stagecoach Inn to investigate? I'm gonna judge you because you're at work and you're watching my live stream. That's supportive, yes. Stagecoach Inn. Okay, I'll definitely look into that. Is that here on the West Coast or is that somewhere else? Because I do have my own paranormal group now, and we've been looking into locations to investigate and everything. So we do have a residential investigation coming up that's becoming a bit of a priority, because normally for my paranormal group, I do want to train new investigators before getting into an investigation. England? Jesus, Josh, I can't go to England just for an investigation. Everybody in my group, including, kind of broke. That's not really feasible at the moment, but oh well. Josh is buying tickets. Well, if Josh is buying tickets, then by all means, let's go to England. I've actually had quite a lot of people from England visiting my job, so that's been really cool. I can't unfortunately what I do for work. I would love to talk that because it's really absolutely fascinating. But, I mean, I have gotten permission. Joshy's broke, yeah. I know you are. I'm just teasing you. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I do have permission from my bosses at work to talk about work. I mean, I guess I could. Hoya Bachiu Forest? Is that the suicidal forest in Japan? I think it's called something else. I don't know. But Hoya Bachiu. Oh, Hoya. Oh, in Romania. Oh, well, okay. Well, in Romania, if I ever get the chance to go over there, I will definitely be checking that place out. But I'm talking more local, Josh. A little closer to Vegas, you know. Just a little. You know, at least within driving distance. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel so conflicted. I really want to talk about work because it's really awesome. But I don't know if I should. Devil scratch type of shit. Well, you know, that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about work. I really want to talk about my job, but I'm really conflicted. What did you do now? I didn't do anything, okay? I didn't do anything. Although my coworkers are wanting to, they're literally wanting to take a doll and perform some kind of seance ritual to purposely possess this doll. And I'm not for it, obviously. I know better. I clean up after people who usually do that kind of stuff. But, yeah. So, they're crazy. I love my coworkers, though. They're really awesome. They're hilarious. And I love them so much. They're really awesome. But yeah, they want to do that. We were talking about it last night after work, and they were like, who wants to be a part of this? And I was like, not me. Not me. You guys have fun. I have kids, and I don't want to take that home by somehow of unknowing means and have my kids all of a sudden walk backwards up a wall. Who should I leave the doll with? My boyfriend said you should do it, but I know who you could leave the doll with, and I'm like, who should I leave that doll with? No, I'm not gonna get that doll possessed. I mean, Shaylee might, and Stacia. No, not Stacia. Actually, she didn't quite agree to it. She was right there with me. She was like, no, let's not mess with that. Oh yeah. No, definitely. He said the person we were talking about earlier, we were talking about certain individuals earlier. But, yeah, my coworkers, they're really crazy. We have these dolls that we were permitted to walk around with and to kind of creep out the customers. And, they want to do a ceremony to, like, they even looked it up on how to purposely possess an item, even a doll. And, well, you're at work. Go ahead. Don't BRB me. Just go be at work. That's what I'm saying. I didn't agree, Josh. I know not to fuck around with those forces. I know that. I clean up after people who do that stuff normally. I'm not agreeing to do that. I'm just saying they wanted to do that, and I said, hey, you guys do that on your own time. I'm not going to participate. Which, you know, my other coworkers are a total witness to that. So if we want to really get into that, we can. Oh, and here comes my other brother. So that's just great. Say hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
No. Smartass. That's my other brother. So I got both of my brothers a part of my live stream, which is interesting.
What? Where's Josh?
Josh is watching the live stream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, douchebag.
And that's how our family shows love. But anyway, no, I would never agree to do anything. Josh says, sup, douchebag. I'm still recovering from being sick, but I'm doing a lot better. I just have a phlegmy cough. But, yeah, so, yeah, no, I would never agree to fuck with that kind of forces or anything. It's just, yeah, phlegmy cough is sexy. That's for sure. But, shut up, Adam. And there goes Josh saying you have dark forces in your throat. Thanks.
A lot more than dark forces.
Anyway, so no, yeah, they were looking it up and talking about getting one of the dolls possessed, and I was not really for that. So that's gonna be up to them on their own private time to do, not up to me. I do really want to talk about my work though. But, I mean, I do also want to celebrate, hey, we made over 900 subscribers! Yay!
Oh, good job.
Thank you. Protect yourself. Yes, I know. I protect myself. I actually, every time I come home from work, I sage and cedar before I come inside. Mom has salt lines around the house as well, because, extra precaution. Even though she used regular salt, she didn't get kosher salt. Pray. I know. Daniel and Laura's gift too. Yeah, the holy water keychain I got from a friend of mine and my boyfriend's. He told me, he goes, don't fill it up with that holy water you get from those pagan stores. Fill it up with real holy water. So I do have real holy water. It is actually blessed by a New York cathedral where a bishop lives, and it is actually like documented that he blesses it. So that's why I buy that particular holy water. It's like all documented and everything. Like you get to know that it's actually blessed by that bishop. So I just, he's probably going to be mad at me, but I went ahead and filled up my little keychain with that. So I did get it at Psychic Eye. I'm sorry, Daniel. I hope you don't watch my YouTube because, yeah, you might get a little mad. Shitty Catholics. No, it's not. It wasn't necessarily a shitty Catholic. It was a bishop in the cathedral in New York. That's what it says on the thing where they get their holy water from. The boy touchy ones. Jesus Christ, Josh, really? I don't know if this particular bishop does that. I don't look into that necessarily, even though I know we all should. But that's something that tends to come out during... No, I know it's a problem with them. I totally agree with you. Yes, my boyfriend said he's walking into this family, and yes, he is. He's chose this life. Unfortunately. I'm sorry, babe. Anyway, this conversation's getting very awkward for me. Yes, we should all look into where our holy water is coming from. If it's a cathedral that has pastors or priests or even bishops that have a history of pedophilia or anything like that, I do totally agree with that, but you knew this family was crazy way back then, dude. Yep, that is my brother telling that to my boyfriend, and it is very true. My boyfriend has known my family since before I was born. It's a little creepy, but he's the same age as my brothers, so there's that. Don't get that wrong. But yeah, so back on the subject of ghosty wosties. Yeah, so I knew you were crazy. Adam hid, not in his creepy silence. Thankfully Adam's back inside. But yeah, Adam's the type that tends to rat on himself. So it's like he could be creepy in that way, where he tells on himself. That's Adam. That's my brother. And my other brother is just a big ol' smartass. Love you, Josh. Yeah, I'm being all festive, even though I use this cup all year long. It just means more this time of year. Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that movie, and my boyfriend learned the hard way that if I'm on the phone with him, that I will interrupt him to sing along with Nightmare Before Christmas. It is a thing that I do, and I do still apologize for it, but at the same time, it's kind of like one of those sorry, I'm not sorry. My brother says, yay, Jack, and my boyfriend says, loved it. Yeah, he actually did love it. Every time whenever I interrupted him and belted out, and, what's this? What's this? It's covered everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. Okay, what is up at work? My brother asks. I just don't want people to, like, stalk me or, like, think that it's okay to just be like, oh, hi, I'm your subscriber, and I'm showing up at your job. So please understand that this is my place of work. It is a place of my income, and it is a very professional place, as well as a very, my boyfriend says he's got to go, but you're at work. I love you, dear. Go back to work. But yeah, my job, don't mention the place. How can I not mention the place? I love you too, babe. Yeah, how can I not mention the place? Because I can't talk about anything. I can't, okay, see, I have to kind of, it's kind of a thing that, like, people are going to figure it out on their own, because it's just a thing that if I mention anything that goes on at work, it's going to be kind of tied into that, because it's just the how the thing, it's how the logic works. The place. Okay, we'll call it the place then, as my brother lovingly suggests. Okay, so no, I have permission to talk about where I work. I actually have been told to social media the hell out of it, but yeah, I just don't want a chance on somebody like stalking me at work or anything, because that could be a problem, and I don't want to lose my job. I love my job very much. I love the people that I work with. My boss is actually really incredible. He's really amazing, and all my bosses underneath him are also really amazing, and they're really cool. And even our lead, he's really awesome, and like the best lead supervisor / sort of boss. He's really awesome, and I feel very grateful to have such an awesome group of people that we all just really click and get along, and we love each other, and we're like really good friends now, and it's really, 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 really awesome. Never thought in my entire life that I would have a job that I love this much. So the place is what we're gonna call my work. The place. It's a bit of a hotbed for paranormal activity, and whenever we have customers come in, they do end up sometimes either having panic attacks where they'll leave. Other times people, even during one of my, even during one of my my sessions with my customers, that sounds weird. Sessions. Oh God, that sounds really weird. Okay, so my shift, I should say, my shift of the customers that came in, there's a particular section of the place where 3 people right in a row, like bam, 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 like I witnessed them having something happen. One was a lady where she got smacked upside her head, and you could even see her hair had moved, and her glasses fell off the top of her head. And the guy next to her felt a tap on his head, so he brings his hand up right after she's like grabbing for her glasses, and then the guy next to him feels a scratch on his head. So it literally was bam, bam, bam. And the guy who got the scratch on his head, like, he freaked out, and he almost bolted out of the building. But he just stepped off to the side, and we had one of our security guys come over to him and make sure that he was okay and everything. And he was able to, have the rest of his time there at the place. And so that, I was really glad about that. I was really glad it didn't scare him off too badly. There was another time with one of my coworkers' shifts. She had a customer that had a bloody nose immediately from seeing a particular artifact. And yeah, it was pretty insane. And then during one of my shifts, I had a customer that actually, right after seeing the same particular artifact, just moments after, he actually was covered in sweat, and he did not look well at all. And so I had to get security to help him out, and we got him some water and everything, and thankfully he felt better. But yeah, this one particular artifact, it's been very active lately, but actually yesterday at work, there was a different artifact that was quite active, to where as I stepped into that section, I saw the shadow figure. And I was one of the few people that's worked there that has not seen the shadow figure yet. And I actually saw it as I was leading in my customers to that area. So that was interesting, because that threw me off really bad, because it really was a solid figure. Yeah, dude, my brother's like, Jesus, dude, oh my God, yeah. Yeah, this is every day. Every day it's something new. There's been times that I've actually felt nervous going into certain sections, even though I've done it a million times. There's certain times where, like, certain sections that it's just, you can tell that it's different. Put salt in your shoes. Yeah. No, I have holy water in my purse. I always sage and salt before I come home, and like every time I sage and salt. There's only, don't tell Mom, but there's only been twice that I forgot, but I saged the house after that, so it's been fine. Bella, my youngest, she actually did see something in the house a few weeks ago now. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. She did see something in the house, but we actually found out that it was Fenrir, who is my spirit animal, and that he was just actually protecting the house. Yeah. No, that was okay. That was good, because when she described what she saw to me, it sounded like a dog, and I asked her, I was like, was it a dog? And she was like, yeah, it was a dog. It was fuzzy, and he didn't mean to scare me. I was like, okay, no, that's fine. So yeah, that was really interesting that Bella has seen something. Leilani still hasn't seen anything. Thankfully, she really wants to. She feels very left out that she doesn't have that ability to see things. But I told her, I warned her that if she does see something, it's gonna probably freak her out, and it's not really something of fun and, oh, I can see apparitions. It's more like, holy shit, what the hell is that I just saw? So it's definitely not something that's a fun gift, I guess you could say, to have. I don't really consider myself having that gift. I just feel like I have a right place at the right time kind of a thing. Because I feel like anybody can see an apparition. It's just being at the right place at the right time. That's my personal belief on it. Plus, it's also a matter of allowing yourself to be open enough for that. But, I mean, skeptics, a lot of the times they don't know when they're being open and everything. And there's been times where we've had customers come in that were full skeptics, and they were making fun of the place and everything when they came in. And by the time they left, they were white as a sheet, and they were kind of very nervous. And they wrote in our little guest log, bad idea for what? Bad idea for what? But yeah, we have a little guest log that our guests can, to make fun of it. What do you mean make fun of it? Make fun of what? I'm not making fun of anything. You know me, I don't make fun of anything. Especially one particular fact. No. I'm not making fun of those people. The people that can see, the people that do have the sight of seeing apparitions or whatnot. Oh, the people who make fun of it who go in there. Oh, yeah, no, that's actually the interesting thing, is that there's a lot of the times we have skeptics who are coming in, they're either bringing their girlfriends or they're bringing their friends or they're being dragged along. And they come in and they're like making fun of everything. And then by the time they leave, like you can tell that their entire opinions of everything has changed and that they don't feel the same way. There's only been a couple of times where nothing really happened to a few skeptics and they walked out and they were like, this was a big waste of time. But, but we can't really predict if or when any of the entities are going to attack a certain person or if they're going to attack at all. There have been several days where nothing's happened. There's been days in a row where it's just like, oh wow, this room's really scratchy today. Oh, next day, this room's very touchy. And the next day, oh man, on this day, this room is very, very active in just everything. Sometimes they do people do get attacked. I had one customer that throughout my shift, there was a time where he reached for his back and he was saying, he was like, my back feels really hot in just one spot. Is that normal? And I was like, do you want me to check your back for you? I can do that. And he was like, no, it's okay. Maybe towards the end. So after everything, I went up to him because I saw he was really fidgeting and he kept like doing this throughout. And so I pulled him aside afterwards and I was like, do you still want me to check your back for you? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So he lifted up the back of his shirt and there was 3 scratches spaced apart about like almost 2 inches apart from each other, just 3 scratches that just like that across his back. And so I asked him if he had his phone with him and I took a picture of his back for him and he was just like, he went really white as soon as he saw the picture. He was just like, oh, wow, yeah, okay. So I told him if he wants to post, if he feels comfortable enough, he could post that on social media and tag us and everything. But yeah, there's another guy from another tour. Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to the scratching does tend to be more common in aggressive and intelligent haunted areas, because scratching is a way of them getting your attention. So it's kind of like a very aggressive, straightforward of, hey, I'm here. Hi. So it's interesting. It's weird. And it is a little scary because every now and then, like, I feel like weird things like on my back, and I'm wearing my uniform, so I can't just check it at work. But by the time I, hey, you, and get the fuck out. Now, yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, there are times where like I feel stuff, but I just kind of brush it off as like an itch or something. And every time I've checked and been able to check, I've not had any scratches or anything. Are ghosts supposed to be in this world? That's a very deep question. I don't feel I'm qualified to answer something like that. There's a lot of beliefs and theories based around why there are spirits on this plane when there's supposedly an afterlife. And that's where a lot of debate comes in to play, because there's, of course, the religions of that. There's heaven and hell. And then there's the more agnostic belief of that there's a higher power, but it's not up to us if there's a heaven or hell. Then you have the Wiccans belief, you have Satanism, you have all these others. So there's like a huge debate on as why there are spirits that are still on this plane, and even if they were supposed to be here, and what does still resonate. Is that just residual energy that's been left over, that's replaying like a record player on skip, or something, that's just skipping and playing over and over. Or is it something else of like, is this like a form of hell, where it's like that's what you are cursed with, is to relive that same moment over and over. There are spirits that don't belong either heaven or hell. Nephilim? Nephilim? I don't want to die a record player on Skip. I don't either. I don't blame you. There's a big theory that's based around a residual haunting, that typically whenever it's been kind of discovered throughout paranormal investigations throughout the years, that whenever there is a residual haunting, that it tends to be linked to some sort of shocked, tragic, sudden death. Nephilim. Oh, Nephilim. Okay, Nephilim. Thank you, Josh. But yeah, so like whenever you have like a shock of a sudden death, then that's where the residual haunting tends to take into play, because it's like that whole thing of like, you don't know that you're dead, and so that comes into a thing of that you just replay the last moments of your life over and over and over, and you don't even know that you're doing it. And there have been some instances where there is a residual haunting, and people have been able to connect to that person that's having that, or that spirit, that entity that's having that relived moment over and over, and they're able to communicate with them. And it's almost like they're in the next room and they're trying to shout through the wall to communicate with that entity and tell them, look, you're dead, you need to move on. But it's kind of like a, what? Who's there? Who's talking to me? And it's really fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating when I've seen that come across. And it just, to me, it just goes to show what little we actually do know about that other realm. And when it comes to paranormal, which is why I'm so heavily into paranormal investigating and paranormal research, is because I really truly feel like we barely scratched the surface on the actual truth behind it all. And that's something that I don't know if we're maybe not supposed to know, because it's beyond our understanding and comprehension. We know almost nothing, my brother says. And yes, I actually completely agree with you. That's why whenever anybody wants to play with Ouija boards or just anything like necromancy or Satanism or anything like that, I personally do not agree with it, because we don't really know the full capability of that other realm. We don't know if, like, when we do allow them and we give them that permission, what does that actually do to us? Like, there have been instances where people have been possessed and they died through their possession, not through an exorcism, but actually through the possession. That's what actually killed them. And scientifically, they are, claimed to be, their cause of death is just, oh, well, it's just, the organs failed, your kidneys failed, your liver failed, that's just, it happens. And yeah, that does happen. But when a person is in a demonic state of possession, does that still affect the body physically, which causes those organs to fail? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm really getting complicated and I'm just kind of rambling. But yeah, I really find the whole paranormal investigations. Your heart fucking exploded from fright. Yeah. I've actually heard about that, where there have been some people that actually not necessarily had a heart attack, but they've actually had like some kind of heart aneurysm that from fright that caused them to die. So in a technical sense, their heart did technically explode because it sprung a leak, and that was caused them to die. So it's really fascinating. I actually wanted to be a mortician when I was younger. What stopped me was before I had my kids, there was a friend of mine that asked me, what would you do if there was a dead baby that came up on your slab? And I was like, okay, time to look for a new profession. So I mean, now that I'm older, now that I've had my kids, and now that I understand life and death on a deeper level, and, you know, that death just tends to happen and things like that. And, you know, there are really horrible people in this world that do murder infants. They murder their own loved ones and everything. So I think if I got into it now, I definitely would be more able to handle something like that on that extreme level. But back then I was very mentally innocent when it came to a lot of that stuff. Any further questions? I hate to do this because I hate smoking on my channel, but I'm definitely going to have a cigarette. I'm so sorry, but... so sorry, but it's going to happen. Kind of like a sorry, not sorry. At least I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm literally just having leftover coffee. No, bad Sarah. I know. I'm sorry, but I am 28 years old. I do what I want. Oh, that's my brother talking very loudly. Alcohol is better than cigarettes. If someone got a heart transplant, could some of the soul of the other person stay in the heart? You know, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a really good question. It's actually been proven, a scientific fact, that when people get heart transplants, the heart is technically a muscle, and muscle does carry memory. So some people did believe for a long time, when heart transplants first started, that it was transferring part of the soul over to the person, because that person that received the new heart, they changed tastes. They changed tastes in music and tastes in foods, and, you know, and ways of their lifestyle and things like that. And it was actually reflecting on the person who that heart came from. And so that actually ended up being connected to the fact that the heart is a muscle, and muscle carries memory. And oh, thank you, Josh. But yeah, it's actually the muscle tissue carrying the memory of that original heart owner, I guess you could say. That person that, you know, they had their tastes, their likes, and, you know, it kind of goes into the bloodstream of, you know, things that, you know, they liked and everything. It's part of their DNA. And thank you, guys. Jesus. Okay, there we go. Yay! Sorry, the connection dropped, so I had to turn off the Wi-Fi. But let me see. Oh no, besides just the muscle, the pacemaker is almost pure feed-forward neurons. Yeah, I mean, there's that as well. So it's definitely, I mean, I've known people that have gotten pacemakers and their entire demeanor has changed. So I think there is that kind of like a side effect of, you know, having something like that close to your heart that causes your body chemistry to change on its own because of something like that being within the body. And it's definitely highly plausible for something like that. And I'm sure maybe, I don't know if that is actually some of the concerns that does get put across from the doctor to the patient. I don't have a pacemaker. I don't know anybody closely related to me that has a pacemaker, so I don't really know. That's why Dick Cheney is a soulless. Okay. Tell me how you really feel, Josh. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure there is definite science behind it that with people that have a pacemaker, it affects their body chemistry in a way that they no longer have that same personality and traits that made them because of that being in their body and the, you know, electrical fields and everything. And actually part of paranormal investigating is by looking for EMF energies, because we are made of energy. And so when you put something electronic into our body, it does affect the body chemistry and the body energy and everything like that. So, you know, it is quite possible that something like that Dick Cheney doesn't have a heart, just a plastic bag that is moved by a pacemaker. Well, I guess you told us how you really felt then. Okay, so let's stay away from politics and let's just stick to paranormal and stuff.
Jason was to my house.
Yes, I know, baby.
It was my
That's my youngest. Okay, go back inside, honey. No, mommy is on the phone for videos. Okay, so you got to go back inside. You got to go back inside. Don't you close that door. Don't you do it. You want a corner time? Then go back inside, please. I know, but you need to go inside. Life of a mother.
I was cure bees inside.
Thanks, Josh.
I would kill as cure bees.
What?
As cure bees.
Killer bees?
Yeah.
No. Killer bees? What the hell kind of YouTube is she watching? Just go inside, baby. It's okay.
I'm just playing a game.
Okay, you can play a game. That's fine.
I'm just playing the strongest.
Okay. You are a good girl at school today, so you can do that, okay? Can you close the door for me? Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, hey, Amanda. Oh, thank you. She says she can't wait to go on to an investigation with me. I really can't wait for that either. We actually do have I mentioned this very early on, but how old are you supposed to be when you start watching YouTube? Well, I appreciate that question, Kirby. I'm trying to just stick to paranormal talk, though, this time around. I personally feel like it's always up to the parent to decide on when the child does that. But anyway, I want to do one too. Well, Josh, if you want to be a part of my paranormal group that I started, I will let you join our paranormal discussion. But but yeah, no, we do have an emergency investigation coming up very quickly because there's a friend of one of my investigators. His home has been having a lot of activity, and his whole demeanor has even changed to where it's affecting him on a personal level. So that's actually something that we're taking into priority right now. But when we do get back on schedule, we are going to be doing training first, and training's going to be at the Palomino Strip Club. Don't ask why it's a strip club. It's a very haunted strip club, and I have connections to get us training in there. Let's leave it at that. And it's not going to be during hours. It's going to be during closed hours, so... Yes, one of my investigators, she has the connections to get us in there to train during the closed operation hours. It's a very haunted facility. It was around during the mob era. There's actually a tunnel that connects the Palomino to the Jerry's Nugget across the street and even other places, but it's all been sealed off. But the hole is still kind of there. You can see it definitely. And the entire place is just incredibly haunted. I investigated there quite a few years ago, and we got some really incredible evidence. It was really insane. Just setting up equipment for that investigation, we had so many things happen. It was really awesome. So I'm really glad that that's going to be our training ground. But definitely, aw, Amanda, I miss you too. I miss Jocelyn. I miss all you guys. I've been working so freaking hard though lately. It's been insane, and I'm probably not gonna get a break until probably sometime next month when everything slows down after Halloween. Because we're anticipating that my job is gonna be really... You can even see that helicopter. Thank you. Anyway, we were thinking it's just really busy right now because it's close to Halloween. Even though we're open year round, It's just the hype of Halloween and that we're a haunted facility. Sorry. Do ghosts ever hang around casinos? Well, yeah. I live in Las Vegas. Copter? I didn't see really what that said, Josh. But, okay, so the thing with casino hauntings, I've got to go as soon as I know when I'm coming to visit. Yes, thank you so much, Amanda. You're so sweet. And yes, you do have to visit me at work. You're going to love it. Ted Binion. Yes, Ted Binion. Actually, I found out, Josh, you know him. We actually, I hate saying this now because he's actually a really nice guy. Now that I've gotten to know him, he's changed throughout the years. But when we were little kids, our neighbor on the corner, he was really mean to us and we called him Fat Bastard. But I actually found out that his home was actually originally owned by the Binion family. And there's actually even all kinds of crazy stuff within the home from when I think it was the daughter that lived there and she was a drug addict and all kinds of stuff. And so there's the wooden floor is kind of burnt where she caught a chair on fire or something like that. It's really insane. He could actually easily turn that into a Binion museum. It's really weird. But yeah, so casinos. Okay, so when it comes to casinos here in Las Vegas locally, there's been a lot of times where like with the Vegas shooting that happened earlier this month, there's stuff like that happens, Tupac Shakur, who was shot on the Strip. There's other times where random people are just even shot and killed in their hotel rooms. There's people that hang themselves in the hotel rooms. There's people that commit suicide by jumping out of the windows. There's even been times where actually there was one time with my old job years ago, I went to work and I found that there was a whole crime scene because there was a drunken guy who accidentally jumped off the 4th floor of the parking garage thinking that it was the 2nd floor and that he could make the jump. But he didn't take into the calculations that it was lifted 2 floors up because it was over a driveway through for the shipment trucks. So it had a huge difference already, and he thought he was on just a normal 2nd floor of a garage, and he wasn't. And he landed on his head and eventually passed away. So that was really weird to get to work and see brains on the ground with a bunch of blood and a bunch of CSI people around. And yeah, that was really interesting. That kind of stuck with me for that whole day. But yeah, there's so many instances that happen in these casinos. There's even people that die of overdose, accidental overdose, just all kinds of things that happen. So when it comes to hauntings in casinos, it's definitely possible, and it is definitely something that has happened, that does still happen to this day. I know the Tropicana is very haunted. Oh, and there goes the Heartland Mansions alarm. I swear, a cat could trip that alarm over there. But yeah, so there's a lot of things to take into consideration when it comes to, the Tropicana is very haunted. I actually remember talking to a security guy over on one section of the hotel because I saw and heard some really weird things there at one point. Flamingo is haunted as well. Riviera was haunted. It's been since imploded, but that was where my first job was at, and every time I went on my break, there was this kind of top floor area that we would all hang out at, and the place was where the rooftop pool was at. Bugsy at the Flamingo, yeah. They still have Bugsy's old room at the Flamingo, so that's very haunted as well. But, yeah, at the Riviera, that was really interesting. Anytime I would go on my lunch break, I would always see, like, weird things, and I would hear weird things that just didn't make sense. There was actually at one time where I actually heard splashing, and the pool had been emptied for years. Like, I think the last time they tried anything was in the early 80s, maybe late 70s, and the pool just kept leaking, so they stopped filling it. So it's been empty for years, and when I was working there, it was 2009 that I worked there, quite a few years ago. And yeah, that was my first job, and I remember just seeing and hearing all kinds of crazy stuff that happened there. And so yeah, there's not a single place that can't necessarily be haunted, because you have to take into the account of things that are possible to happen, just, you know, in general, just life situations. Just like even in a brand new home could easily be haunted, not necessarily because of the home itself, but because of the land. A lot of the situations here in Las Vegas is that a lot of these homes are actually placed on top of old Indian burial grounds. And so a lot of the times people are having insane things happen in their brand new home, but they're not taken into the account of the land and what happened there years and years ago. So hauntings are pretty much all around us. It's just a matter of either being aware of it or understanding the history of the land and everything as well. There's an entire hotel that's haunted in Jerome, Arizona that I've been dying to go to, the Jerome Grand Hotel. That actually used to be an insane asylum, as well as a hospital, and now it is a hotel. And I really want to stay the night there, because that is just, oh, I really want to go there. Of course, the Stanley Hotel, I believe in Colorado. There's all kinds of things. Antarctica has to be ghost-proof, right? You know, Antarctica, I don't really know. There have been a lot of explorers that have gone there and were never seen again. So it is quite possible that Antarctica is haunted in certain areas, depending on, you know, geographically, you know, where people would have gone and, you know, had their ships anchored and everything. And ice Nazis. What the hell, Josh? We're not supposed to mention Nazis anymore. I think that could get me demonetized. Freaking YouTube lately, man. It's been crazy, but, you know, I still love this platform. I just really hope that they get things figured out and that they stop trying to censor people, especially when it comes to news and serious things. When it comes to, like, mocking serious things and mocking news and everything, then I understand. But as of right now, I think it's important to share information. Look up World War II in Antarctica. Oh, you're right. You are totally right. I actually totally forgot about that. Yeah, there's actually a thing about the Nazis trying to take the land of Antarctica, right? Hiding Hitler, flying saucers, yeah. I do remember that they wanted to take that land there too, because nobody had claimed that land. And so they wanted to be the first ones to claim it, right? At least that's what I remember. I could be remembering totally wrong. But, there's a lot of birds in my backyard right now, sorry. So I keep turning over to look at them, because it's just like there was a birdie that was just, like, right over here, and I was just like, oh, hello. And it kind of looked at me like, oh my god, a human! It's the path to Agartha. You've been talking to Dad a lot, haven't you? My dad is huge into conspiracy theories and extreme conspiracy theories. Agartha. What is Agartha, dare I ask? Josh, you need to stop talking to Dad. I love my dad. I love him, but he's a little crazy at times. Extreme conspiracy theories involving aliens, and that's Agartha. Yeah, it's like, I don't really know too much about it. I think Agartha is like the gateway to the hollowed earth thing, and supposedly extraterrestrials live there. I don't know about that. My personal opinion when it comes to extraterrestrial theories, or, you know, like on that paranormal general sense. Oh, Agartha is the hollowed earth. It's below us. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought it was the gateway, but yeah, no, you're right. It is the actual hollowed earth. Some flat earthers believe there's a special hole at the North Pole. I need to not share my opinion when it comes to flat earthers, because I could be really mean about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna avoid that one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Kirby. I'm not very nice when it comes to flat earthers. That's because there's a hole in their heads, the flat earthers. Josh, yeah, see, I keep my opinions to a down low, to myself, for the most part. My brothers, on the other hand, share their opinions very openly, even if they're not really asked for. But that's my family. That's yeah, because my sister's like that too. I don't know. I'm like the alien child in this family, because I don't know. I don't know why I'm so different from all you guys, but maybe because I watched you guys all fuck up and everything, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be different, because I was so young in comparison to all y'all. But back to the subject at hand. Yeah, as a paranormal investigator, Kirby, well, I'm glad you agree with my brother. Thank you. I didn't want to offend anyone or anything, because, yeah, you never know who believes what. So I don't want to offend anybody. That's my whole point. Everybody's free to believe whatever they want to believe, as long as they don't push it onto other people. That's where that line kind of crosses with me. If anybody tries to force opinions on someone else, then that's where I kind of step in, and I'm like, okay, this needs to stop. To each their own. It is a saying that I strongly live by. To each their own. If they believe crap like that, fuck them. Yeah, thanks, Josh. But yeah, as a paranormal investigator, when it comes to the subject of extraterrestrials, I actually do have, you know, it's in the distant future, but I do have plans on going to New Mexico to do an investigation for UFO sightings, just as that whole paranormal general research. I'm not specific in just spiritual hauntings, that I can do UFO sightings as well and other things. My only thing that I don't ever want to explore is the more physical realm of Bigfoot, skinwalkers, things like that. Personally, I feel it is incredibly dangerous to go after something that we really have no real information about. It's very dangerous. It's very risky. Yeah, Wendigo. Yeah, I would never go hunting those things because they are physical creatures. I don't know whether or not I necessarily believe that they exist. I'm pretty certain that they do. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm just not gonna straight up say, oh yeah, I believe in them. Yeah, they're very dangerous, nasty as fuck. Yes. So it's, I'm sure they do exist. I personally have never seen anything like that. So for me personally, it's kind of like I'll believe it when I see it. But at the same time, I'm not going to go hunting for it, because if something like that does exist, that is incredibly dangerous. You are putting your life on the line. You are putting anyone who is there with you, their lives on the line as well. And my brother Josh with his emoji of the hand raised. Yeah, could AI become alive? I guess that does go into the subject of paranormal, artificial intelligence. That's a weird subject for me. Sorry, I'm not picking my nose. I'm just fixing my nose ring because I don't know if it's like makeup or something that's on it. Anyway. AI can't necessarily ever be alive because they are through like a whole electronic system. So they wouldn't necessarily have like a soul or like cold digger. What? Josh? Anyway, when it comes to AI, it's definitely on that conversation of like, is something alive if it doesn't have a soul, if it doesn't have blood running through its veins? Like, we do consider insects alive. Oh, nose picker. Oh, no, I was fixing my nose ring, you dummy. Anyway. Oh, now I have to rotate it because I just... Yeah, there it is. Okay. Nose miner. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Any more? I'm sure you have a list. Anyway. So yeah. Artificial intelligence is actually something that can necessarily be a danger to the human race, because it's not very hard to calculate that humans are the reason that the earth is dying. It is very easily to come to those conclusions that if it weren't for the human race, the world would be doing just fine. We are the reason why there's pollution. We're the reason why there's like trash and in the oceans and everything, and why there's stuff that's non-biodegradable. There's stuff that's really killing our world that we're still making and we're still producing and we're still selling and people are still buying and contributing to it all. So when it comes to artificial intelligence, I really feel like that's something that we need to not do and not have any participation in, that we need to just focus on making our world healthier and better, and not worry about technological advances unless it is for that reason of creating ways to be able to make fuel out of that trash that's just piled up on islands and land masses and all just kinds of things. That's where I feel our technology needs to go to. And we also need to find ways of helping produce, more climate regulations and everything. What do those think about changing climate? I think that, that's actually a really interesting question, because that is something that I've actually come across as a paranormal investigator, that is really interesting to discuss, in that sense of like, do these ghosts from like 1700s, 1800s, do they understand the technology that's in our hands, that's around us now? And that's actually something that I would like to investigate in. I would like to go someplace like England or somewhere in Europe to investigate and be like, okay, do you understand what cell phones are? Do you understand what ghosts don't give a shit, ... Get it. Thanks, Josh. Yes, I get it. Actually, I was going to say ghosts don't really give a shit, but they could smell like they do because, they could give off smells as sulfur and whatnot are smells connected to demonic energies. So there was that. But yeah, so could what we do in this world spill over into that world? That's a really good question as well, Kirby. You are full of really amazing questions today, and I'm really appreciative of it. I think when it comes to stuff that we do in this world that could affect the next world, where whatever that is when we pass away, whatever that other realm is, whether that be like heaven or hell or just like another plane, personally, I feel it definitely, it comes down to morals. Maybe they don't understand exactly what's going on, but when they feel something is wrong. That's a very, very insightful question. I don't really know too much about that. Yeah, it's definitely more, as far as the theories that I have researched and I've even contributed to, when it comes to our effect onto the other realm, it's definitely based on true morals and intent as to what we put out into this world. If our heart is in that right place, versus if we are just out to manipulate people or manipulate things to go into our favor to make our lives the easiest. I think that is where the most effect does come in to play, because that necessarily also affects our energy levels. And so when we go into that other realm, I think that does have, I personally feel that it does have a play on whether or not you are more in that positive energy sense or in that negative energy sense. And that in a sense depicts on like if you no longer stay on this playing field where, you know, like you're a ghost, you're one that haunts. Like if you have that higher ground where you are just purely out for morals and good intentions and you are not there to put harm onto others and you live like a pretty well-moraled life, you are more likely to pass on to that other side. Whereas if you do stuff that's, you know, good morally, but your intentions are to receive stuff, you know, for yourself or to, you know, for just like selfish reasons or things like that, then you are more inclined to be something that tends to like hang around and haunt. That's just my personal belief on the matter. As far as like actual things, do all spirits agree on the same morals? I don't necessarily think it's Josh, I'm sorry, I didn't see what you had to say. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily something that like they come together and come to an agreement. It's things in our physical universe cannot occupy space in other universe, but they can influence us here. Like it goes away too fast and nothing I can do can stop it, because even if I scroll it still fades because I think I have a glitch. Just message an emoji or something, I don't know. Oh, good lord. I'm having to stare at my own face all this time. I'm waiting for the conversation to come back up so I can finish reading and answer and stuff. There we go. Okay. Things in our physical universe cannot occupy space in the other universe, but they can influence us here, like stake and affect ice, but ice can't affect. Like steam can affect ice, but ice can't affect steam. That's actually a very good point. That's why I feel like everything is definitely more based on that emotional, non-physical sense of like morals and personality wise, and you know, things that like you do things good for people out of just doing good, not necessarily doing good to get something in return, because it is that sense of like how my brother was saying that like steam can affect ice but ice can't affect steam. It's definitely on that sense, if that makes sense. They have to, how I describe paranormal activity, I describe it very much like a battery. Battery is basically their timeline of them being able to do something physical in a very short frame of time. So that's why you will see things that just randomly knocked over, or you'll hear a voice, or you'll feel a touch, is because they've charged this particular battery to be able to produce this moment of an energy touch, and or some kind of even disembodied voice. It is all energy, and that is where I feel that best describes how paranormal activity behaves, which is why we can never predict when a spirit is going to do something, when or if a spirit is going to do something, or what that something is if a spirit does do something. That's why we can't necessarily predict any of that, because we don't know what their charge is. We don't know what is charging them. We do know that they do tend to feed off EMF energies, but we don't know if it also is linked to something else, which is why batteries will die and things like that. Where is that what actually feeds them better than just EMF energy itself? Or is it through emotions that charges them? Like if you come in angry and you are just like filled with rage or something, if that is actually what's fueling their battery. So there's a lot unknown. That is why I paranormal investigate. That's why I paranormal research. There's so much unknown that we don't know exactly what charges them for what certain things, if it's all a general sense of charging, or if it is just like if they take energy from a battery that gives them to do something physical. If they take energy from like an EMF field that gives them a disembodied voice. We don't really know those specifics. And that's just why I investigate and why I research, because it's those minor details that could actually help us understand the paranormal realm a lot further and a lot better than what we know it now. And, you know, there's actually a thing about, there's this lady named Lee Sober Shapiro. She was a very brilliant woman. She actually created what's known as an anapathic purifying cylinder. You won't find any information of her online, unfortunately. Her family was heavily religious, and they did not agree in her paranormal investments and research and inventions. But the anapathic purifying cylinder was a mixture of EMF waves with radio waves to connect to the other side. And she even went so far as creating spell cards to create a stronger connection to the other side. Yes, there is. You can actually take a tour at the Haunted Museum, Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. I don't know, Kirby, if you live in Las Vegas, but there is that museum here. They have a whole room dedicated to Lee Sober Shapiro there. So you can definitely go in there, check it out. Do what you can to read as much as you can about her, because pretty much all the information about her is available in that room. Holy crap, Sarah, you know your shit. Thanks, Josh. Yes, I do. I've done a lot of research and time and like just a lot of emotional time investment in all this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot that I know. There's a lot that you guys never cared to ask about what I know. And I know a lot. I know a lot of useless information, but I also know a lot of helpful information when it comes to the right subjects. And I finished my coffee. But yeah, so there goes that freaking house alarm again down the street. It's an old alarm that gets triggered so easily, and I hate it so much. And I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have one more cigarette, just one more, that's it. But yeah. But yeah, like the whole thing though with like that we are energy and they are energy as well, and it kind of goes into that whole thing of like when we die, our energy still resonates. Who gets triggered? The Heart Mansion. Their house alarm. It's always going off like several times a day. It's such a sensitive alarm. So old. They need to update that. It's still that bell. They haven't updated it, even though Caroline passed away. What's her name? Lee, Lee, Sober, Sober, Shapiro, just like how you spelled it, Kirby. What was that, Josh? I didn't see that. I was trying to answer Kirby.
Joshy. Brother of mine.
Oh, I thought you meant April. Ha ha ha. You're welcome, Kirby. Thank you so much for all your awesome questions. Like, seriously, I love the questions that you had today. Thought you meant April. Yeah, no. April's actually been wanting me to call her for the past couple weeks, and I've been avoiding it like the plague. Because I'm a great little sister. But yeah, it's a trap. Don't do it. Yeah, no. I've been avoiding it. I know I really wish I could just call her just to talk to her, but I know it's not gonna get anywhere. So I've been avoiding it. But hey, that's my family, guys, that I'm putting out on YouTube. Yeah, my family, we get along great, and don't we? We're a typical dysfunctional family. Thanks, Josh, for that. But yeah, that's how we are with our family. It's funny though, because like with the rest of us, we tend to get along pretty okay. I feel anyway. We get along all right. My neighbor gave their dog a squeaky toy. My neighbor gave their dog a squeaky toy. Do you realize how annoying that is? That is so obnoxious. That's all I'm hearing. Squeak, 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 squeak. We accept each other. She does not. That is very true. That is very true. Like I say, to each their own. But to my sister, it's more like my way or no way. But yeah, that's my family. Putting that out for the world to see. I'm just thankful that I still have my YouTube platform. I'm still thankful that I have my viewers who are still subscribing to me. You guys are freaking awesome. I still can't believe, like, over 900 subscribers. That is so, like, I never thought I would get so many subscribers. I remember when I celebrated my first 100 subscribers, and I was, like, so thrilled. And now I'm getting close to 1,000, and I'm just like, what is my life? This is so weird. But yeah, I definitely do want to do more live streams since I don't have the time to do pre-recorded stuff so I can like edit and everything. So I know it sucks because I know I personally don't like to watch live streams that have already happened because, you know, there's usually like over an hour of footage and I don't have the time to sit there and just watch a live stream that had already happened that I can't really participate in. So I know that that sucks, but that is something that I do want to do is more live streams because it's easier for me to get something out to you guys just in general. And I do want to eventually do live streams of my paranormal investigations. So that is definitely something that I really want to do for you guys because I want to, like, in that sense of have you guys with me during an investigation so I can, like, share my knowledge on how an investigation is supposed to go, what to do, what equipment to use for certain things, best equipment to use, like when it comes to brands and stuff like that, and cheap equipment, stuff like that. So definitely want to do that for you guys. I do also want to do a Patreon. I know I've been talking about making a Patreon for a while now. I'm going to make that for my paranormal group, which is called Other Dimensions Outcasts. That is my paranormal group that I've founded. But we are definitely more of a community group, to where I make sure that part of the training is that everybody gets to try something else, and everybody gets to try different equipment. Whereas in other paranormal groups that I've been in and that I've seen, they tend to make one person stick to one thing, and I don't agree with that. Part of investigating is being able to have your hands on everything, so you know what to use, and you can't just rely on one person anyways, because sometimes that person could get sick, and then you don't have somebody to work the cameras, and so you need other people to know how to work the different equipment, just in general. But it also helps them to become better investigators, so that way, they're trained properly. And that's what I want to do for my group, is I definitely want to make it a community, so that way everybody gets to learn, everybody gets to have their turn. And I even want to do times where people get their turn on leading, and so that way if they move, or if they just want to have their own group, that's something that they can do and take with them. So that's my goals, and I hope you guys are wanting to be a part of that, because I would like to take you guys along to meetings and investigations, and even location investigations. Like, we get to travel and maybe even do meet and greets and everything, so that way you guys could even possibly participate in an investigation. I think that would be really fun and really cool. So that is definitely part of my goals in life for the next 5 to 10 years. That is definitely something that is part of my goals list in life. So hope you guys want to be a part of that. And everybody got quiet. I don't know what happened. Oh my god, don't leave me alone like this. I need conversations. Ugh! I'm so awkward. I'm sorry. Just don't look at my messy background. It's messy over here. Oh, Josh is cooking. That's a weird sound cloud. Sound cloud?
Oh, there's my doggy. My doggy Sakura.
What sound cloud are you talking about, Kirby? It's in your description. Oh, my... I need to get rid of that. Saki, come here. Oh, you guys missed it. There was... You guys gotta see this. Look at this. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Over here. He's bouncing. You see him? He's bouncing. Look at him. Ah! That's hilarious. That's Boss. That's my neighbor's dog. He's so freaking adorable. He's the one with the squeaky toy, though. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. And then I lost my angle that I had propped up. Okay, there we go. No, okay, yeah. So my SoundCloud was a podcast that I was doing with my best friends for a short while. We actually don't have any time to get together to do that anymore. Whenever we do get together, it is definitely like a situation of when we're together, we just talk about life, and we end up talking about like stuff that's going on with us and everything. And so we never really get around to making a podcast anymore. But our initial goal was to have like a comedy podcast of us sharing our stories, our awkward stories in life and everything, because it was really funny. We would have awesome conversations where we would just make each other crack up. And I'm actually working on... Sakura, that's enough. You're making Boss jump like crazy. Look at him. He's still going. Look at him. Okay, did he stop now? Nope, he's still at it. Saki, that's enough. My poor doggy, she's like freaking out. He's so funny, I'm sorry. Distractions, I'm sorry. Okay, that was hilarious. Sakura! Come here, come here, come here. Come here, it's okay, it's just boss. You're fine, there we go, okay. She's by me now, she's good. There we go, good girl. But yeah, my podcast was definitely just mainly comedy reasons, because I do want to get into comedy. I've been wanting to take improv lessons. I can't right now because of my work schedule. The only improv classes that are available are Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I work both those nights, so that really sucks for me. But I definitely do eventually want to get back into doing all that stuff because I have a bucket list, and part of my bucket list is to do a stand-up. And I definitely will be filming that so that way I could post it on here to YouTube to you guys, because I don't know, I don't think it's gonna be great. I'm sure it's gonna be an awful train wreck, but I have been working really hard on it, and I so far anytime whenever I've told my bit, oh, my battery's dying, of course. But anytime I would tell my bit to anybody, they would always like crack up really hard. So I hope it'll be a success when I get around to doing a open mic night at a comedy club. Because it is something that I just want to do as like a bucket list thing, but also as fun to do. Because, you know, life is short. Enjoy life while you're at it. You know, part of being a paranormal investigator has got me to realize that, you know, this is life now, and life is around us now, and we need to be in the moment. And yeah, hope that makes sense. I don't know, because here I am on YouTube doing a live stream, calming down my dog from the neighbor dog that's bouncing up on the wall over there. But yeah, I've definitely just been really loving life lately and loving everything, and so I kind of want to spread laughter, because even while I'm at work, I always like to make customers laugh. Part of my whole thing at work is that I have these jokes that I randomly just, I'll just flip out at them, and they're just like, oh, hey! So I do get like a lot of props though. Every time whenever customers come in, they're always like, oh, you're awesome, thank you. And I'm just like, oh, great, awesome, I'm glad you liked it. But yeah, life's too short to be serious all the time. And I love paranormal investigating, but it does give me appreciation for life, because you never know what the other side holds.
But yeah,
I actually think that would be a good note to leave this live stream on. You know, life is short. You know, part of paranormal investigating is understanding life. Weed helps. Well, yeah. Weed does help. So does other things. But we're not on that discussion today. That is all for your regularly scheduled programming. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and leave this live stream at that, you know, with the whole, you know, life is short. Enjoy it to the fullest. Do what makes you happy. Don't forget to laugh. Don't forget to, you know, just make light of situations. Don't do crack, kids, as my brother says. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I know I did. You guys are awesome. Kirby, thank you so much for all your awesome questions. They were really great questions. Josh, thank you for joining us. And thank you to my boyfriend who was able to join us for the short time that he was able to join. And, well, I gotta plug my phone in, Josh, but yeah, I'll call you. And thank you to Amanda for joining us as well. Amanda, I miss you dearly. I hope to see you soon. But yeah, don't forget, yin yang is a balance, and the balance lies within yourself. There is real meaning to that. I don't just say it as part of my thing. That is real meaning. So, yeah, find your balance. Love you guys. Mwah. Thank you for joining. Bye, Kirby. Bye, Josh. I'll see you guys on the next one.